Welcome, it's Cosmic Girl 101 talking about the Libra full moon in this video. For all the romantics out there, this might be of interest to you because Libra is the relationship full moon. And for people that are just interested in astrology, I don't think you're going to be averse to drop into the heart at the time of this full moon on the 12th or 13th of April, depends where you're located on our beautiful planet, when this full moon hits exact at 23 degrees and 20 minutes. Libra is a relationship sign. A Libra seeks out other, whilst Aries, the opposite zodiac sign of Libra, where Chiron and the Sun are conjunct at the time of this lunation. Aries is about the self. So these two zodiac signs are the relationship zodiac signs. And because the relationship we have with ourselves, Aries, is important. Is it healthy? And if it's not, then we need to process chironic themes such as wounds, past hurts, anything that makes us feel less than powerful, which the exalted sun in Aries represents. Nothing but power. But with Chiron here, conjuncting that sun, the exalted sun in Aries, opposing this full moon, indicates that we need to move past some sort of self-doubt here, some sort of self-blocking behavior that enables us to have healthy relationships with ourselves and interact with other people. So once we get ourselves right, our relationships usually are pretty good because that confidence in who we are and being self-sufficient, we don't really seek out other people to fill our cups. We usually fill our own cups up. So this full moon is an interesting one because it's about the relationship houses. There's a lot of other planetary aspects going on at the time of this full moon in the chart. We're not going to dismiss that. But ultimately, the moon is only bright because it reflects the sunshine when it's in its full bloom. There's always that opposition. And oppositions, well, what are they? They're all about you versus another view. And when the full moon in Libra is lit up like a Christmas tree, if you will, then we are considering the Libra parts of our chart. Wherever Libra is for yourself in your own natal chart, and what Libra represents. So Libra is the only zodiac sign that isn't represented by an animal in the zodiacal wheel system. Libra is the only inanimate object, which is the scales. And with scales, generally we understand scales being of equal give and take. And we put something in on one side of the scale, the other side of the scale all of a sudden goes up quite high. And Libra is all about being connected with people. And when you've got the scales tipping down low, then you have a imbalance. But from the perspective of how scales are viewed, it's what's put in that scale has value. There's a almost a payoff for the object that has been put in that scale. And the weight of it is going to represent the worth. And Libra, the zodiac sign in of itself, the worth of Libra is interested in equality and balance. So we don't want to see a scale being uneven. We all are of equality. And it's really only the self that considers the subjects of, oh, how do I value myself compared to another person? And when we start putting in value systems and caste systems and systems in general in Libra, we've got this full moon really highlighting, if you will, how we are systematically weighing things up within the self versus other. Tricky because that Chiron conjunct the exalted sun is asking us to get past any any trip ups that we have and traps about ourselves being not good enough to be our own person. Libra wants to connect, Aries wants to be a little bit more singular and autonomous in a relationship. And the hardest thing for the Aries part of us is learning to play nice, learning to understand that when it's healthy to have relationships and not be so frightened or even worried that we're going to lose ourselves in the Libra parts of our chart, because Libra also can lose itself in relationships where it becomes almost sacrificial. They are so concerned with the other that they forget to fill their own cups up. And that potentially could be something that you're realizing at the time of this full moon is, my goodness, maybe I have spread myself too thin. I've nurtured and cared for everyone, and I forgot myself here. So there could be a little bit of burnout with the ruler of the full moon being Venus retrograde conjunct Saturn in Pisces, where Venus also is exalted like the sun is. So we have two planets in positions of exaltation, which is quite strong. And Venus in Pisces, retrograde conjunct Saturn. Pisces is renowned for compassion and nurturing and really spreading yourself too thin to the detriment of losing yourself in a crowd, as Libra does very, very well at times. So we don't want to be feeling that way, that we're lost in a relationship and we're going to scramble to find ourselves back. But the wound, Chiron, conjunct the sun in Aries, and may have you identifying those parts of yourself that do, give a little bit more reach. And for some reason, you may be sitting there considering when you are in a relationship and dropping into the heart, what's the payoff for being myself? Am I going to be well received? Is it fair that I don't think about other people in my relationship so much? Well, it is, because if you aren't filling your own cup up and if you don't feel satisfied within yourself, then relationships that you connect with become codependent, where you need someone to constantly prop you up. So it's a healthy full moon to almost psychologically pull things apart and how you versus other is serving you. And that other relationship can be a friend, it can be a cat, it can be a car. Some people just love their car so much that there's so much contact and detail on their car that they go, oh, well, I become identified by the car. Or people that like to work out, nothing wrong with that. But the concentration on the body and fixating on the image is very aesthetically connected to Libra, which loves image and loves to look a particular part, which is Venus. Venus loves aesthetics and beauty and things that are attractive. So if we are attracted to people because there's some sort of value or aesthetic, then that's why we seek out relationships. There's something attractive about someone else that we are seeking within. So the full moon can have us all up in our heads, absolutely. And with Venus retrograde conjunct Saturn in Pisces, well, the good thing about this alignment at the time of this full moon is Venus conjunct Saturn, when she's retrograde, she's about to change into a direct motion, actually, not too long after this full moon. And Venus conjunct Saturn is, I'm in for quality, long-term beauty, and the necessary boundaries I need to put in place to establish really good value systems within myself and in my relationships. And the beauty of that is creating that balance and equality that we're all seeking at some point. So if you're all loved up and you're with your person on the day of this full moon, then it's going to feel like the potentials for something long term is available. Yet it's only going to be available if you keep the communication lines open. Libra is an air zodiac sign. It's about intellectual stimulation. And when we reach other people through conversation and communication, we get to understand others' points of view. And then you can have a dialogue. You can start a conversation and it can go back and forward. And Libra loves that. Go back and forward. Let's just get your point of view. Now listen to your point of view. Very good at debating, Libra. And you can have really good conversations, with a dialogue at the time of this full moon. But you'll get the intel that will help you identify where there's imbalance or where things are just right, and how you can keep that train going with retrograde Venus conjunct Saturn. Because Venus values and is attracted to things that is almost like delayed gratification, the daily grind, which is really quite helpful in relationships. We want our relationships to be healthy, long, and stable. And this full moon can open up some dialogue if you are feeling that you're ready to commit, for example, to a significant relationship, whether it's with yourself or with another person. Then intellectualize the pros and cons, write things down, a pro list, a con list, for example. Or let's talk about your point of view versus my point of view. How can we meet in the middle? This full moon is really quite a healthy one because Libra is all about the healthy equality. What's the equation here? Is it working out? Is it balancing out? So I think it's a lovely full moon for talking it out. And you can drop into your feels and your heart. Of course you can at any given time. But with Venus conjunct Saturn, the heart component may start to lose its gravitas because Venus conjunct Saturn is more about, well, there's boundaries that are needed. Do we go out of the boundaries or do we stay within them with this relationship? And what does that look like for us or for ourselves when we're talking about what we're attracted to and what we're bound to with our heart and what we want to unite with, what we want to create some harmony and connection with? It's a beautiful full moon, all in all. Mars is also informing this full moon because Mars is in Cancer at 27 degrees. It's trining. It's trining. There's a sorry. There's a square. There's a square going on here. Mars in Cancer, interested in emotional security, squaring the full moon. So there could be an adversity, if you will, to keep protecting yourself, especially with Chiron conjunct the Sun, and in protecting your own needs and own values, which is healthy as well. But to what point is it creating a conflict within yourself if you're not giving 100%? Well, that comes down to, it's a very subjective point of view. If you're feeling that you're not 100% authentic with a relationship with yourself or another person, and you're feeling almost a little bit covetous, then there's something that you can process and talk about, or at least sit with on the day of this full moon and really drop into why you're so interested in keeping some things just to yourself and not going all in, because Mars really is interested in emotional security. And when we don't feel emotional security, we're not going to give our all and open up because we're vulnerable and we feel exposed. So that could come up here with this full moon, just feeling a little bit, I don't feel safe in expressing myself here because that means that I render myself vulnerable. And if there's anything Mars doesn't want to do, is accept and even admit to the self that it's quite vulnerable. It doesn't want to expose those weak spots. And no one really does, because if we do, then we render ourselves almost like at the mercy of other people. So this is where Chiron and the Sun conjunct is really healthy, to move past feeling vulnerable and just step into who you are. It's okay to be you. You'll be well received through another by being your authentic self, or you'll be well received within yourself by building that character of feeling good within who you are without any filters or masks. It's really not necessary. And the full moon in Libra will point to that with Mars conjunct Chiron. So it's a lovely full moon, all in all. I think it's going to be a really cathartic full moon in Libra. So just going back to Libra itself, being that air element of the zodiac sign and the cardinal part of Libra. Libra is a cardinal zodiac sign, as is Aries, as is Cancer, and as is Capricorn. And we've got Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, which is also exalted in Libra. Um, conjunct the ruler of Libra, which is Venus. So we've got a lot of cardinality going on here. So cardinality really is about taking a step in a new direction. It's taking a bold move forward in creating something new, a new season of your life with your relationship with yourself or within other people. Cardinal zodiac signs are the people that you need on your team to take the first step to make something happen. And with Libra, well, it's intellectualizing and looking at the pros and cons to go forward confidently in a new direction, which is ultimately about unity, whether it's with yourself or within other. So you versus other is really prominent, and how to initiate a new season, something new that's going to be emotionally inspiring, because Venus is conjunct Saturn in Pisces. We're after emotional inspiration that has the legs to grow and flourish in the future. That feels attractive, feels balanced, and feels harmonious. Beautiful full moon. So, all in all, when you get down to brass tacks, there's nothing preventing anyone here from not feeling like they cannot be themselves organically in a relationship. And if you are one of those people feeling this might look, cosmic or 101, my relationship's really not going so well, and I'm not really sure how to express myself, we'll write it down, send a voice message, send an email. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, write it down and burn it up. At least you're getting it out of your system about how you feel. And then give yourself some time, and give yourself some time to be human in understanding how to address those difficult conversations with relationships in the near future. Not right on the full moon, may not be the ideal time to do that when emotions are quite expressive. But what you can get is at least a little bit of confidence to step forward in a relationship and start opening up the heart chakra with nothing performed, nothing rehearsed. It's not necessary, especially with Venus conjunct Saturn. Saturn's really not interested in embellishments. So I wouldn't be going from that angle when it comes to trying to get to the heart of a matter when you are in with relationships with others that need a little bit of tenderness. It's how your approach is going to be more important, more so than the reaction, because how you approach a relationship or a conversation that's difficult within a relationship, even with the self, there's a finesse that needs to happen, and Libra is all about the finesse, making the setting just right. So you'll be okay in as much as identifying how to approach a tender situation in a relationship if you're feeling a little bit unbalanced at the time of this full moon. Okay, so let's go through all the zodiac signs, and let's see what the zodiac signs can expect at the time of this full moon. So we want to, just want to move the chart forward. Maybe we can't. What have I done here that I can't do that? No. Okay. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness, it's not going to let me do it. Why? I'm not sure why. Okay, well, it's not going to let me do it. I don't know why this is not happening for me. But anyway, I do have the monthly astrologies for all the rising signs of the zodiac on my YouTube channel. The April astrology videos for all the. So if you know your rising sign, the video there for April's up, and you'll have a report on the full moon in that video for you, what it means to be a rising sign. I've also uploaded the May rising sign astrology videos as well. Oh, bummer. I'll have to work on that. Okay. Well, that's my take on the Libra full moon. Beautiful. Really nice full moon. Come from the heart. Think long term, whether this relationship, whatever you're connected to, any connection, what's the beauty of it, and understand also within yourself some really deep intellectual understanding of, is this relationship with myself or other ideal for me for the long term? Because this full moon can have you thinking about all relationships and the the time frame. When's the expiry date? And some people do think like that with a relationship. I wonder how long this is going to last. So whether you're trying to challenge the self, have a better relationship with yourself, or with a significant person in your life, and this full moon is asking, it's gonna take some commitment to show up for yourself, and the beauty of delayed gratification with a relationship. It's the daily grind with the self and other that is consistently going on, is it not? So this full moon will just really be quite intellectually stimulating. So great for conversations. Get talking. Turn the TV off and distractions, and drop into the heart and have a talk with yourself or with your significant other. And if you're not, again, then do it in the near future. Um, and get things off your chest so you can start to heal and feel confident within yourself. Get a healthy relationship within you. Therefore, you get to the core values of who you are, and then your partnerships reflect that back to you, and the relationships don't become codependent. They become healthy and balanced. Okay, guys, I'm Cosmic Girl 101. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay cosmic.